Welcome, students. The topic of today's lecture is green ear disease of Bajra. The other name of this disease is downy mildew disease of Bajra. The disease is most widely present in temperate and tropical areas of the world. From India, the disease was first reported in 1907 by Butler in a sporadic forms. It is very common disease in Bajra growing area of India, particularly UP, Bihar, Punjab, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and Karnataka. In local language or local areas, the disease is also known as Baba disease, Kodia disease, and Jogia disease. Other name of disease: Baba disease, Kodia disease, and Jogia disease. Now we see the symptoms of the disease. These are some diagram of the infected host plant. Infected ear. The ear of the plant convert into green leaf-like structure. So the disease is also known as green ear disease of Bajra. Spikelets of inflorescence. Spikelets of the inflorescence. This is the spikelet, and spikelet of inflorescence proliferated due to the hypertrophy or overgrowth, and stamens convert into leaf-like or leafy mass and become sterile. The disease of the green ear. The symptoms of the green ear disease are categorized into two stages. First, downy mildew stage, and second, green ear stage. Downy mildew stage occurs on leaves, and green ear stage occurs on inflorescence or ear. First, we see the downy mildew stage, the symptoms of the downy mildew stage. In downy mildew stage, the chlorotic spots appears on the upper surface of leaves, and downy growth of the fungal conidiophore are seen from the lower surface of the spot. The green colored leaves are changed to white, and later the green colored leaves are changed to white and later brown. The whitening of leaves is seen as streaks occupying half or more of the blade surface, extending almost its whole length, and the leaves may become distorted and tend to split into threads. Symptoms of green ear stage. Main symptoms of the disease are produced on the inflorescence, and the ear is wholly or partly transformed into loosely arranged, twisted, leaf-like green structures. The glooms become enlarged and green, and the bristles of the spikelets become hypertrophied and variously contorted. Instead of a single spikelet, two may be formed on the same pedicels. The stamens become leaf-like or may be suppressed to a rudimentary peg-like stumps. The filament of the stamen may be elongated or be atrophied. The stamens become leafy, colorless or brownish structure, and the central portion of the florets is usually elongated into leafy shoot consisting of reduced foliage leaves which are much twisted and malformed. These may become longitudinally shaded, and the pistils is usually replaced by small leafy shoots or horn-like outgrowth. Now, causal organism. Causal organism of this disease is Sclerospora graminicola, member of class Oomycetes, order Peronosporales, family Peronosporiaceae, genus Sclerospora, and species Graminicola. The introduction about the pathogen. Pathogen means Sclerospora graminicola is the obligate parasite. Obligate parasite means depend on living host, living being. Intracellular, branched, aseptate and sinusocytic mycelium. Sinusocytic mycelium is present and absorb food from host tissues. Absorb food from host tissues with the help of bulbous hostoria. Bulbous hostoria. Hostoria secrete toxins and dissolve the reserve food material of the host and obtain food from the host tissues, and mycelium remains confined to the mesophyll tissues where it causes hyperplasia. Hyphae are freely present in mesophyll cells of the leaf and also may penetrate the bundle. At the time of sporangiophore formation in Sclerospora, tuft of hyphae reach the airspace beneath the stomata. These develop sporangiophore which emerge cluster through the stomata, and each sporangiophore is a broad, short hyphae and unbranched in the lower part, but usually gives out 2 to 6 thick short branches. At lower part it is unbranched but usually gives out 2 to 6 thick short branches, di or trichotomously branching. Stegmata are slender, slightly swollen and tapering at the apex. The sporangia are hyaline, broadly elliptic and sometimes broadly cylindrical. Mature sporangia becomes detached and soon germinate in water to produce reniform and biflagellated zoospores. Germ tubes from encysted zoospores penetrate the host surface. Oogonia and Anthridia develops within the infected tissues, mostly in leaves and malformed floral organs. In Sclerospora, oval oospores are produced in large numbers and remains scattered in the mesophyll cells. In mesophyll cells, and oospores have 3 distinct layers in the wall and they do not germinate immediately but have a prolonged resting period, and they germinate by 1 to 4 germ tube. So it is the ideas or general introduction of the causal organism, member of the class Oomycetes, and now disease cycle. The disease is systemic and primarily soil borne through seed borne inoculum also brings about primary infection, and primary infection occurs through oospore. Primary infection occurs through oospores and secondary infection occurs through sporangia, conidia. Primary infection occurs through spores which remains dormant in the soil. Pathogen is strictly an obligate parasite, and oospore produced abundantly in infected leaves and floral organs fall down on the ground with the debris and perinate during winter. Oospores remain viable in the soil. Oospores remain viable in the soil for 3 to 4 years. 3 to 4 years, and in favorable condition. Favorable climatic condition means weather and temperature. Weather and proper temperature and proper weather, oospores germinate and infect the host seedling. Pathogen invades the host tissues from underground parts in a systemic manner. Now, secondary inoculation. Secondary infection. Secondary inoculum consists of conidia. Conidal formation is favored by temperature range of 15 to 25 degrees centigrade and proper humidity. Mature sporangia or conidia. Sporangia or conidia fall soon and their disperse takes place by wind, water and insects. Wind, water and insect, and on host surface they germinate in the film of water to produce zoospores, and the zoospores insist and form germ tube to infect the host. Besides soil-borne oospores, Seed-borne inoculum is also important in primary infection. So this is the disease cycle, and now how we can control the green ear disease. First, uprooting or eradication of diseased plant. Uprooting or eradication of the diseased plant. Crop rotation. Crop rotation. Use of clean seed. Clean seed means ooze spore free and certified seed. We should use ooze spore free and certified seed. Avoid crop sowing in low-lying area or waterlogged area. Use of resistant varieties. Use of resistance varieties like Pusha Moti. Pusha Moti varieties developed by the Indian Agriculture Research Institute, New Delhi. HB1, HB14, BJ104 and BK203. These are the some resistant varieties of the bajra. Now seed treatment using fungicides like Agrosone GN and Thyram. Agrosone GN and Thyram, and spraying using fungicides Mancozeb and Bleton. We can control the disease through spraying using fungicides Mancozeb and Bleton. Thank you.